what Drew, what would you say is like if you were to rewind, 3 to 4 years ago, what's like the one thing that took us from our 1 mil range to our 10 mil range? Like, what is like one thing that your earlier self would have liked to know? Like, what would you have told yourself 3 to 5 years ago, knowing what you
Stop
know now?
being a perfectionist and A/B test everything. Simple as that. That's what I would have told myself. Don't you can just there's a lot of paths you can go, and you one person can say, "Oh, we should do this. We need to do sales." Other person can say we need to do marketing or anything like that. But I think anything that you're going to do, you need to A/B test everything. Come up with a theory, test it out, test it against something, and give it a good try. If it doesn't work, scrap it, retry. And don't be scared to just go after it. Put yourself in front of the camera. Remember, David, when we were doing videos, we're like, oh, in front of the camera. I'm like in a reception chair, like, this is a headset and the microphone test. I don't like this. I deleted our whole YouTube channel. I hated it that much.
I know. I really wish we would had our original
Yeah,
videos.
that's
Oh, and what's crazy is like we were so dumb then. Like we put out how to replace a headset battery video, and we were getting tons of sales. And but we did it with a call to action of like 50% discount. And it was all of us talking. Dustin, this one that
yeah,
does not
we
like discounts, so he's like, why are we doing this? But it's like automated from people all in the world are just coming to our website and just buying constantly. And that wasn't a clue to us then, like, hey, we should do maybe more of these videos,
Oh no, no,
maybe.
no! I think what would happen, I think we went the other direction. We just say, yeah, these things don't work. We got to quit doing that stuff. You know?
oh
Well,
yeah,
no.
quit
So
doing that.
a big problem. So one thing that we could learn from that is that each of us, so we're in like the core circle of running the business, right? But we had these different roles at those times where I was a commissioned sales rep. So even though I'm on the inside, I was paid just like any other commissioned sales rep. So you're hearing from me with too much influence for what just a regular like a sales rep should be. So I'm like making decisions that's not good for the company because I'm just trying to get my own sales number. So that's exactly what a sales rep would have been like, but they it wouldn't have necessarily gone through had it not, like if it came from them versus it coming from me. So we changed the actual like structure of how we pay and our roles and all that stuff, which ended up shifting for me personally, like shifted my whole mindset rather than a commission sales rep, like more of a business owner mentality. So the things that were bothersome to me back then aren't as bothersome to me now. That doesn't mean that I'm not still troubled by discounts. Like I have my own opinions on discounts, but that discount I would have acted differently. I would have had a different opinion on that one. I would have said it's working. This is a good thing. Like look at all the sales that we're getting from it.
Yeah.
Whereas I kept seeing it undercutting my sales number. I'm like, hey, it's cutting me in half, and then I'm losing all of the commission that I would get from it, me personally, because that's how I was compensated.
Yeah, well, I mean, that brings in a whole lot of topics, but I mean, from like, I don't know, like, because we were so I mean, we had a lot of like business structure problems, so making sure we have good foundation of business in order for you to have the mental capacity and ability to be able to focus on those things. But we were just like, just trying stuff, and it's like we should have logically been like, oh, we got to keep doing. I mean, because this is probably like 7 years ago that you're talking about that we did those videos that were actually working, and it's like we should have doubled down, tripled down, 5x down on YouTube
Hmm.
then. It
Sure.
wasn't until less than 2 years ago that we doubled down on YouTube and just started putting out tons and tons of review content and content around like the products we offer, and it works really well. So like back then, imagine if we would have done that it would have been like, so my advice would be for somebody that is not currently putting out content on your products or services is start putting out content immediately on YouTube based on what people search for. So if they're looking for, Dustin, you said printers, you're looking for like a certain HP or Xerox printer, you're putting out review videos, comparing them, showing the pros and cons, why you want a laser one versus this one. So you just want to give like your value to your product offering as fast as possible. That's like the one thing, like knowing what I know now back then, and it's just 10x the media that uh, we would have done back then to today, because we would have been 5, 10 steps ahead in my way of thinking where I'm at right now.
Yeah, well, when you don't do it and you're not in the trenches of doing it, though, it seems like, oh, how do I get started? This seems expensive. This seems like a waste of time. Uh, no, I'm gonna have to hire a camera guy, editor. How do you edit videos? Even if you simply just get started by taking your iPhone or a webcam, like I did, you can go look back at our YouTube channel, and it's hard for me to watch those videos. Put a webcam on, or use your cell phone and put it up with a tripod and hit record. No editing, literally. Just get used to doing it. And if you get some people looking at it, that gives you fuel to then start actually investing in this channel. So for me, again, it always goes to testing. And just like this podcast, give it a good try. It
That's
doesn't have to
right.
be perfect. You don't have to think about, think a little bit about it, but more than anything, put it out there, see what happens. If you're seeing some traction, some people resonating with it, then you know you're onto something to then, hey, let's go put some more effort in this area.
Well, and at the same time, be committed. Be committed to, to the mission and stay with it because it's almost like you need blind faith because you create the content and it's not the kind of a thing that you see immediate results from as far as like to your bottom line. So you have to create the content more like content that's helpful and informative rather than a sales pitch. I mean, you don't
Yep.
really want to be doing that either. So, um, yeah, I think you have to have a certain amount of faith in what you're doing and then just stay with it.
It literally has to be 100% about the audience and not self-serving. I
Hmm.
can test for our when we were creating videos, like we were trying to figure out things. We were in a sales mentality and not in a marketing mentality. So
Sure.
some of our videos are coming across as these sales pitches, and it's like even making the video, you didn't feel good about it. So as soon as we changed our mindset and we doubled down and committed to do YouTube for at least a year, we said we have to do this for at least a year, and it was more about just making helpful information. Not everyone's going to come buy from you, but that's okay. You're going to get a percentage of people that will come to you and buy from you, and you'll also get brand awareness of yourself out there to know who the heck is in this company, who are these people in this business.
Hmm.
So I think a mistake of ours in the past was making self self-absorbed content, thinking about it in a sales mentality rather than a just a simple marketing or helping mentality,
It,
and it's
Well,
totally different.
even sales though done properly, it's supposed to be about helping and serving and finding the right solution, solving problems for people. It's not about me. Yes, you want it to be win-win, of course. Like a lose-win relationship is not a win at all. But it's supposed to be with the intention of helping that customer. So it's other focus, not self focus. So if we're doing it properly anyway, that should be the way that you operate when you're doing sales well. You shouldn't feel like the person shouldn't feel like they're being sold to. They should feel like they bought. It's a joyful experience. Like, oh wow, thank you so much for your help, and then they like make selections based on the recommendations you're making and so on, and it's not like a pressure cooker where you're backed into a corner to make a decision, kind of like a fight for your life sort of thing, or like pressing. And I'm not saying don't nudge people to make a good buying decision or something at certain points if they're on the fence or whatever, but the overall idea should be about helping and serving, and that should be no different with the content we create, that should be no different with like really anything that we do. That's really the core of it all anyway.
Well, we
So
surely learned that. We
Well,
surely learned that.
like I said early on, is we've made a lot of mistakes. And, Drew, you just pointed out one of them, is the type of content that we're creating. And we learned that there was a better way and we adapted. And I think that's highly important.
Well, yeah, we're like in the mindset. Yeah, we got to make our dad proud and we got to keep the sales coming in. So that's coming across on the video of like, I got to sell something today. So we were coming, at least myself, I'm coming from like the sales mentality of the day-to-day sales that you're doing and whatnot. And I would translate that on the videos in the early days. And it just doesn't, people don't want to hear a sales pitch on a helpful video. They just want to
Sure.
get helpful information when they're researching, looking for guidance, looking for help on their product. They don't want to hear a sales pitch. They get sales pitches every single day, just like I get sales pitches in my LinkedIn inbox that I just got a few today. And it's the same people in the same industry. They send all the same pitches. That's the last thing people want to see on a YouTube video.
Hey everyone, thanks a lot for joining us on this clip of the We Blowing Up podcast as me and my family are on the pursuit of blowing up our small family business and taking you along for the ride. Now, if you want to see the full episode, check that out right up here. Otherwise, check out another clip of here and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future episodes and clips.